Yes, it
That's new.
is.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is
Thank
new.
you
I
for
think
that.
because so many meetings were being recorded without people knowing it.
That's what because it just started.
Yes,
Yeah.
that felt a little bit naughty. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to Guest Thursday on Daily Dose. Hi, Magic.
Hello. Who are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. We are joined by one of my oldest, let's say late teen friends. So Michael, you and I would have met when we were 18 and 19.
Well, yeah, it's been 30 years.
Yes, it has. Yes, 30 years
Almost.
this fall. Isn't that
Almost.
shocking?
Yes.
Well, actually, it's been 29 years.
29 years.
Yes.
I mean, but you may as well round it up at that point. It's not like it's
We may
27 and,
Right.
you know, it's 29. Just call it, it's 30.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So Michael and I did our theater degree together. In fact, Michael, I just have to tell this story. Michael and I were paired together on day one of our first acting class.
Oh, you tell me this.
We had to sit sort of cross-legged on the floor, knee to knee, and look at each other for, I think, maybe 82 hours.
Yeah.
And try to make each other cry.
Well, that was
this degree, folks.
And, you know, because you're not awkward at that age, you know, so why don't you just go ahead and sit across from a stranger and try to find deep emotions?
Try to elicit terrible emotion.
Wow. I mean, those exercise, I mean, obviously they were beneficial, but, you know, that I'm still, 30 years later, still not wanting to do exercises like that with strange people because, let's face it, I've never got out of that social awkwardness.
You know, I mean, it's part of what makes you so delightful, Michael. And I know that it's part of what makes life challenging for you.
Right.
Because you do such a great job of not appearing socially awkward. And that's got to be a lot of work. I mean, it's like if you just decide, well, for the rest of my life, I'm just going to hold my stomach in and no one's ever going to see what I really look like. Well, you can never really relax and breathe.
Yeah. I mean, I've always considered myself, as I've gotten older and understood it, an introverted extrovert. Is that the proper order? Because I do socialize, I do pretty well, but then it's like a week of hibernation. I can't do it for long. And just these past 2 weekends have been super social because people are coming out, things are opening up and people are vaccinated. So I've done a lot of that, but it was exhausting.
Yeah.
You know, not just for me normally, but for everyone because we haven't done it.
Yes, we're all out of practice with it. It's really awkward. I was meeting someone the other day and she ran into someone she knew and shook his hand and she said, oh my gosh, 15 months later, I forget still. And then I do it and I think, don't touch me. Yeah, we're all in this very weird new normal. I mean, maybe that phrase could get used more often.
Yeah, it's not used yet. I think we should keep on, you know, it's just
maybe we can introduce it to the world right today. New normal.
New normal. That's novel. Yeah.
I find the fist bump alarming. Yeah. I'm not a fist bumper.
Well, I used to do when I curled, because curling people fist bump all the time and then slap.
You were a curler?
Yes.
He was. Isn't that surprising?
But one of the things I didn't go back to when I got sober because there's a lot of alcohol involved in curling.
Well, it's not mandatory, but it's, I mean,
not mandatory.
Michael, you're from South Dakota. I'm from North Dakota. There's just a lot of alcohol, full stop.
Yes, there is. That was growing up in my family for certain. Yeah.
Yeah, not in mine, but I'm the anomaly, certainly in this region of the world. So, Michael, you're not on today to talk about addiction because that's not your struggle.
No.
But you're on to talk about sort of this introverted, extrovert, social anxiety thing because it's admirable that you didn't become an addict because that's how a lot of people with social anxiety try to manage it, including you.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit, Michael, about what social anxiety is for you or how you think about it.
I mean, it's just, I'm a constant second guesser. I will literally finish a conversation, whether it's on Zoom, I'm sure in a half an hour, I'll look at this and be like, yeah. I mean, there's no confidence in anything I say. You know, I will second guess everything. And so I'll get out of a conversation and then I'll spend the next 24 hours. was that taken the wrong way? Did I read that cue incorrectly? Did I say something they might have taken? And it's a constant. It's not like that thought and then it's gone. It's like, just keep cycling, just keep cycling, just keep cycling. And then eventually it'll dissipate and then I'll find something else to worry about. But it's a never ending struggle, and it's ridiculous.
Have you always had this, Michael? Or has it, like, was there a peak and now you're better? I don't want to use better that way, but
Yeah.
Or does it just continue to ratchet up?
There's no consistency in it. There's nothing. So I often wonder, did I have a little extra sip of coffee that's, put me on a different level today? Or did I eat something last night that's making my innards feel extra? Like I don't know. And I try to be one of those people that pay attention to what I'm doing so that maybe I can avoid it, but there's nothing consistent to give me, hey, don't do this anymore.
Right.
So it's just, there's no way out. And that's not meant to be a dire, horrible thing. It's just, I'm trying to just deal, but it's, but it's not just social anxiety. It's, this is something I've spoken kind of openly about, is like when I get nervous or panic attacky, it's like my innards are going to explode. That's the way my body works and how I handle stress and anxiety. So then that just ratchets up the anxiety, because now I'm like, oh my God, my stomach hurts. Oh my God, it's absurd the way it just kind of snowballs. So yeah, it's a constant struggle. It's like,
I mean, I don't want to tell you how to or not feel, Michael, but I don't know that it's absurd. I mean, I just read a thing the other day that said Henry Fonda did theater multiple times in his life and tried to do it more as he got more famous as a movie star.
Yeah.
And every single night they would say, places, please. And he would run off, throw up, and come back every single night. Now, you would assume that Henry Fonda would think, I got this.
I got this.
Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty good. And guess what? Nobody's going to care if I'm not, because I'm Henry freaking Fonda. So I can dial it in and no one's going to care.
And they're going to hold the curtain for you because you're Henry Fonda.
Yes. Yeah. You're not tree on the left, number 7.
Right.
So I think it's about recognizing that it's just a thing. It's not ridiculous. It's just
no. And it's interesting.
It might be inconvenient, Michael.
It's inconvenient, but I am in therapy. Let's be honest. But it's she's trying to get me to not downplay or call it as something negative, because I do use the word absurd. But there are those constant exercises. Be kind to yourself. But that's really hard, because I am inherently not nice to myself. And
yet
a buddy,
you're one of the most supportive human beings I've ever encountered. I mean, if you could talk to yourself the way you talk to anyone else, I'm not saying your problems would go away. I'm saying you'd have so much more gentleness for them.
Well, that's the trick.
You're such a great guy.
Aww.
You careful. Two are sitting each other in front of each other. You might make
what
each
if we
other
make
cry.
each other? What if we finally
make each other cry,
Michael?
Well, no.
Years.
It only took 30 years.
There we go.
And the distance of Zoom in order to make it work. Yeah. But it's not. What I hate, and that's a terrible word to use, because again, you don't want to be negative. But what I dislike is that I can see logically that, you're doing all right. It was a pretty productive day, but I am beating myself up constantly. And there, I think maybe let's say probably 2 days out of every month that I don't end the day, you didn't have a great day. You got some work done. But days that I'm like, I can go to bed, I'll turn to my husband, I had a productive day. 2 days out of the month. That's it. Even if there was some kind of work done, or even if I made it through. And every social situation, or if I've avoided a panic attack, I have that immediate moment, like, you did it, but they don't seem to help the next time. You made it through. Like, I went to this weekend stayed with some friends, and then we ended up going to a Memorial Day barbecue with some high profile people. And so, okay, not only do I have to just go and be in social situations, there's people that are recognizable that I have to engage with. So there's always something for me to find a new level of anxiety when it's again, I will use the absurd, not in a negative way, but just, you're gonna be fine. I made it through. It was fun. You know, I wish there was a way that I could control it better, knowing that there's never been a terrible outcome.
Yeah.
So I'm listening to you use the word absurd, which has got me thinking about the scene you did from Waiting for Godot.
Oh, with Carl.
Yes, which is the quintessential absurdist
Yeah.
moment, in my opinion. And in that sense, absurd is not a negative. It's just a state of being. So I mean, let's see, far be it for me to think that after all your self-digging and therapy and all these other things, I can swoop in and say, Michael, I have a fix for you. But,
Thank you, Dana. Thank you. Yeah.
I know. We should have done this years ago.
Years ago. Why didn't you do this sitting across from me with our legs touching? I don't understand.
No, I just wonder if that isn't a way to think about your use of the word absurd. Because in the context of the absurdist theater movement or art movement, it's really not a negative connotation. It's just some things are profound, some things are sad, some things are happy, some things are absurd.
Yeah.
And we all have absurd moments. So, okay, great.
Well, I'm gonna take that and run with it, because I write. That's what I do. So there is so much therapy filtered through my writing. So now I'm going to look at it from that absurd perspective and try, and maybe that's the way to turn around the way I use it. That it's not a bad thing. It's just a different way of looking at things, a different way of presenting it. So maybe you did help, Dana. Absurd is good.
I'm going to assume that I did and tell people that I did.
There you go. There you go.
I'm going to go to bed tonight and say, I had a productive
You had a productive day.
Klug.
That's what I'm here for.
And I'm going to go to bed thinking, this is why I work with plants.
Yes. Yes.
But this is why I have literally become a hermit. Like there is no way to not say that I'm not a hermit. But it is that, you have those, I need to be out and I need to be socializing. You get those. Mm-hmm. But again, I realize now as I'm getting older and understand my body and my mind, sort of, if I understood it completely, I wouldn't be talking about this. But the fact that, I need that downtime. I am such a nester. Mm-hmm. That's where I really can recharge and I don't know. It's weird because I love to be around people and I love good conversation. But again, there's always that, second guessing. It's like this conversation, it could have been better. It could have gone better, and I'm my new way there tangent, but the past 3 months have been so odd for me for a variety of reasons and all this upheaval, and there's a shift going on and I can feel it and I can sense it. I don't recognize it yet, but there are things that I'm already looking at as I'm going to start shedding certain things that no longer serve me. Mm-hmm. And, that's work-wise, that's, relationship-wise, that's anxiety-wise. And I'm hoping it's a good thing, and I guess I'm going to be 47 in a month and a half. So maybe it's time to start enjoying things more and not being in my head constantly. So, but it is, I was thinking about the idea of matching up anxiety with addiction. Not that it's remotely similar, but I don't know how to function without anxiety, if that makes sense. It's so a part of me.
I think it is similar, don't you?
It is.
It's like without it, I mean, when I have down moments and I'm just actually in a very chill, which is rare, I don't know what to do with myself. It's uncomfortable almost,
Well, I think of it a little, I think of both of these things very, very loosely. The way I went to physical therapy years ago because I got a lot of neck and back issues for no reason. I've never been in an accident, nothing.
Yeah.
But the physical therapist said to me, do you have a lot of neck and back pain? And I said, yeah, but it's not terrible. And he said, all right, look to the right. So I did this. He said, look to the left. And he said, no, look to the right. And I did. And he said, no, look right. And I said, I am. And he said, and you think you don't have neck issues?
Oh my
You're
God.
turning your head like 12 degrees. You're young, you're healthy. You should be able to turn your head really far. And we just adapt to what we carry.
No. Yeah.
You know, so what bothered me 10 years ago doesn't bother me anymore because I've adjusted to it. You adjusted to alcoholism. You've adjusted to anxiety or second guessing.
Yeah.
So when we don't have it, it does feel like there's a little anxiety around not having it because we know it. So it's that, you know, better the devil you know than the devil you don't kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know how to deal with anxiety. What would you do if you didn't have it? You don't know how to deal with that. Maz had to learn how to deal with no alcohol. How do
Exactly.
I bring myself to a party not drunk?
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. And we had a lot of conversations
we
about
did.
it. And I fixed him too, Michael. So I'm 2 for 2.
Oh my God, you are doing so much. But you are. Let me just say this, all kidding aside, I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. I've told you that you know, that you guys are so open about struggles that how many other people are experiencing, you know, and I think that's one of the things about addiction, about mental health, about anxiety, that people don't talk about it because these are things to keep in the closet, and you know, we don't. And I think that we're not going to get anywhere if we don't just flat out say it, which I think I mentioned to you recently, Dane. It's like I want to be seen. I think part of it is that I don't have room for this as it is, but then to also shame myself, that doesn't help either, you know. So that's why it's like, just, I don't care anymore, you know. This is who I am. I'm dealing, you know. And I think it makes it easier. But also then what you've done, what you guys have both done, is now you're helping people, so it kind of turns the issues on their ear and splays it out. And I think it's just a smart way to do it, and I don't know why more people don't, because embarrassment. I get it, you know.
One of the first things I remember when I started my first counselor, who actually you might know, his first degree was in theatre.
Brad is a lot older than we are. He's an MSUM theater grad, but from Kristen.
Oh, okay. Oh, got it.
He told me you're in danger of, and I still really don't quite get it, but he told me I was a self-actualator.
What does that mean?
What is
I
that?
don't really know. I think what he was getting at is that you find a fault in yourself and you make it real.
Yes. I believe that, because
that is the cornerstone of any addict or anyone who suffers from any form of anxiety.
But then it just builds on itself. I mean, it's almost a no-win. I mean, because if you have that, even though, like you said, you're not really that, but if you think you are, that's enough for your mind and body to be like, okay, you're right. And then, it can level up so quickly.
It's true. And it's so much more complex than to simply say, well, I know I shouldn't, so I won't. You know, I talk about this some, not a lot, because I think I don't know, it's not received very well, but I have tremendous body issues. Really not anorexia, not bulimia,
Right.
but probably really only because I don't really have any self-control. Like, you have to have a lot of self-control to be believed.
Certainly.
And
Yeah.
I don't.
I
I'm
don't
just
know why
going
I'm
to eat
laughing
the
at.
food.
That's actually tragically true.
You know, I'm too lazy to have an eating disorder. Let's just call it what it is. But I certainly have the loathing and the anxiety around it and the judgment. And I don't talk about it much because I don't externally look like I should have a problem with it.
Right.
I'm pretty lucky at 48. I can both recognize that and look at myself and think, man, you look so fat today.
but that's the thing. It's like that's the problem. And the disconnect is that you understand everything's okay, but that's what's so infuriating about it. Cause I can see the forest for the trees. I'm like, okay, you're fine. You did this, whatever. You look great, but no, you don't, so, but I will pay you this compliment. I have always thought, Dana, that you are a stunningly gorgeous woman. So take that as it is. You can second guess it later, but just not now. But
we'll call each other and second guess this later.
Watch this a couple of times each, and then phone each
other.
other.
Oh, Michael, you're very kind. Just to go back and say thank you for your very nice comments about the work that we're doing. I just wrote to a potential new guest last night who said he'd seen some episodes. And I said, if the only thing coming out of this was what I have learned both about Maz and learned about myself, because we have been intentionally having 15-minute conversations for 48 weeks.
That's amazing.
To me.
Yeah.
It would be worth it to me because I had no idea what I didn't know. And to me, that's part of what makes your writing process and the creative process of so many people who struggle with fill in the blank. I mean, we tend to move towards the creative world because it is an outlet to be seen. It's an outlet to hide. It's an outlet to explore and to take on other personas and all these things. We're so lucky because you've been as honest about your struggles as we have been. I've read some stuff from you that is mortifyingly honest.
Right.
And I love that so much about you. I appreciate so much that you're willing to say things like, I got on set and I had to find a bathroom now. And it wasn't like, I'm sweaty. Nope. This is full bore.
This is full on, emergency alert.
And most of us would never talk about that, but most of us can go, oh, I had that moment once. Or,
sure.
So you are seen, Michael. None of us are seen as much as we want to be seen because you and I want to be seen all the time.
Yeah.
Let's just be really honest. But you are seen in such important ways, and your honesty, whatever second guessing you do is for you. I mean, I'm not trying to talk you out of that, but I do want you to know how seen you are from the outside and how appreciated that raw honesty is, because it's not easy.
Well, I thank you for that. And that's the additional issue is I have never been a good compliment taker.
Nope.
Which means once we get off, I'll be like, she didn't mean that.
Well, here's what you should do then. And I mean this too. I've only just met you after a long time.
Yeah, of course.
About you. I think you should wake your husband up because it's not even 7 o'clock there. And
it's almost 7,
he's a lucky man.
And do what?
He's a lucky man.
Tell him that he's a very lucky man and that we say that too.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll take well to that. You guys don't.
All right, maybe wait a couple of hours.
I'll wait till he's had his first cup of coffee. Then I'll be like, hey, you know what? You're lucky.
You're a lucky duck.
And he'll say, shut the hell up. That's what he'll say. No.
When Matt says to me, I'm lucky, I say to him, yes, you are.
Well, no, it's something my stepdad, may he rest in peace, used to say. He's like, after any social engagement, I'm glad you got to see me. Yeah.
Oh, well, sometimes you got to fake it till you make it.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, I thank you for letting me be on because it is a matter of like shedding, using that term again, of like, and getting to that, I just don't care anymore. And not in a bad way, just like there's nothing that this hiding or shame is serving, nothing.
Well, and don't you think sometimes, Michael, like I think about 20-year-old us. What if 20-year-old us had access to 46 and 48-year-old us? Maybe something would stick that would help us be where we are today, but at 36 and 38, as opposed to, what we just don't know And I'm not trying to give self-importance.
You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know who's going to come across something and it makes them think, oh, I never thought of it that way. And it turns a corner for them. It maybe isn't going to turn a corner for us. We might be long gone, but somebody else, I mean, it's the whole movement about it gets better. And being LGBTQIA plus. If you can help someone young realize that whatever they're caught in right this minute, it will get better. Maybe it can get better sooner.
Yeah.
Isn't that valuable? Even if it didn't get better soon enough for you.
Well, I know we're running out of time, but the one thing I would love to say, the other thing that I'm starting to realize and trying to impart into my daily routine is realizing that these stressful situations are finite. You know, this move that we just did, in 3 weeks, we are done. That's it. You know, you will be stressed, you will be overwhelmed and but for 3 weeks only, and you're done. Yeah. I mean, I'll find something, me personally, to worry about regardless, but knowing that this is not going to last forever. All right. And that's been very helpful, actually. I'm like, okay, I know it's going to be done. Yeah.
It's the semester mindset. This class
sucks.
It's only 17 weeks long. I can do it for 17 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm the teacher, so I can.
You're just going to start over. That's it, you know, but with better people maybe. So, you know.
True. That's true. But it's such a smart way to think of it.
It is.
Even a terminal illness, eventually, I mean, all things do come to an end. So you better find a way to manage them while you're in them, because they actually end up being most of your life.
Yeah. Yes. It is it's a constant state of worry, but nothing's going to last forever. Yeah. So you'll be all right.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you either will or you won't, which goes back to being absurd. You know, what are we doing? We're waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting for Godot. Oh. Okay. There's no judgment there. I mean, there's judgment from me because that play makes me want to lose my mind. There's no judgment from those actors. They're just
doing that scene. I never, at age 19, whatever it was, I'm like,
well, come on. That's because it's absurd.
Yes, you're right. You get what you put into it.
Well, Michael, this has been so lovely. And so I think truly, you know, I don't say what I don't believe. I could give you 42 things I could be critical of right this second. So when I praise you, it's because I mean it.
True.
I mean, not 42, that's a lot. But there are so many people who have, I would venture everybody has some level of second guessing, feeling insecure, self-doubt, wondering if they deserve to be where they are, wondering if anyone sees them. We all have that. I don't care who you are. And so for you to come on and have this conversation, which was both honest and funny and traveled through 30 years and today, and that's the nature of
29 years, Dana.
Right, 29, right, sorry.
Let's not get, yeah.
At any rate, I loved it so much.
This was beautiful. This was a fantastic conversation.
We'll be back on with you, I think, in the future, because I think
I would love that.
There is.
I mean, I don't need to if it's for you. I mean, now I'm cured. So I have no further anxiety. I think we can look at that and be like, that's a success. I'm good.
Rubber stamp, done.
Done.
Next patient. All right. Michael, have an excellent day.
You too. Thank you, guys.
We'll talk to you so much.
Nice to meet you as well, Maz. Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.